Stop everything you are doing. Put down your Pokeballs, drop your max revives, and silence those gym battle themes. Because today, the impossible just became the inevitable. For decades, we've been whispering about it, dreaming about it, filling fan forums and Reddit threads with wish lists and feverish speculation. It was the white whale of the Pokémon universe, the dream game so ambitious, so technically challenging, so gargantuan in scope, that we all believed it would never happen. But now, thanks to the biggest, most seismic leak in Pokémon history, the infamous Teraleak 2.0, that dream is standing right on the precipice of reality. We are talking about a massively multiplayer online MMO Pokémon game that connects not one, not two, but multiple beloved regions, allowing players to traverse seamless world spaces from the sun-drenched beaches of Hoenn to the snowy peaks of Sinnoh. This isn't a rumor. It's a terrifyingly detailed, alleged internal roadmap for Game Freak, stretching all the way to 2030, codenamed Project Seed. This multi-region colossus is slated for a release around 2028 and is being described in internal documents as a prototyping project for a next-generation online game, playable by multiple people. Tonight, we're going deep. We're unboxing the full scope of this MMO remake, from the staggering technical challenge of stitching Hoenn and Sinnoh together, to the shocking reveal that this game might also incorporate the fan-favorite Kitakami region. From the Scarlet and Violet DLC, we'll look at the incredible implications of a truly open-world Pokémon MMO with a central hub, co-op raid battles, and underwater exploration. We'll analyze the entire leaked roadmap, including the next main series Gen 10 games, Pokémon Wind and Waves, and the third Legends title set in Galar. This leak is a roadmap to the future of the entire franchise, and it's a chaotic, beautiful mess that you need to know about. Let's start with the bombshell. The concept of a multi-region Pokémon game has been the most requested feature since Pokémon Gold and Silver dared to connect Johto and Kanto, but that was limited to the experience. Now, the leak suggests we are getting it on a scale that defies imagination. The internal code name is Project Seed, and the description is explicit. It is a prototyping project for a next-generation online game playable by multiple people, set in a region that connects Hoenn and Sinnoh. Let's dissect this. Hoenn and Sinnoh. That's Generation 3 and Generation 4. One region is defined by its vast ocean, navigable seas, and volcanic terrain. The other by its mountainous, rugged geography, deep caves, and ancient mythology. How on earth do you organically stitch these two monumental regions together into a single, seamless world where players can walk, uninterrupted, from the battle zone of Sinnoh right down to the shores of Lilycove City in Hoenn? The leaks suggest the game takes place in a new region that acts as the connective tissue, a kind of central landmass or archipelago between the two. This is the MMO element. Think of the possibilities, a shared, persistent world. Imagine standing in a massive, vibrant hub city where hundreds of trainers from around the globe are interacting, trading, battling, and showing off their shiny Pokémon. This is the central social experience the franchise has always lacked. Co-op raid bosses. The leak hints at co-op raid bosses. Forget Dynamax or Terra raids. Imagine tackling a massive, legendary Groudon or Dialga with a raid party of 5, 10, or even 50 other trainers, utilizing synchronized attacks and strategy. This is the kind of in-game content that would keep players engaged for years. Underwater exploration. This is a key home feature that was severely underutilized in its previous remakes. Bringing back the viable oceans in a massive, online world opens up entirely new areas, hidden legendary temples, and the potential for new, deep-sea Pokémon variants. But the biggest shock? The whispers that this single game may eventually contain all for Japanese-inspired regions, Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, and Sinnoh. If true, this game would be, geographically, one of the largest video game worlds ever created. The ambition is staggering, but the technical debt, the possibility of the game being a buggy, incomplete mess upon release, is the nightmare scenario we must consider. Project Seed isn't the only shockwave. The Teraleak 2.0 has apparently laid bare the entire Game Freak pipeline. We are looking at a full roadmap through 2030, a corporate document detailing where the Pokémon train is going next. The leaks suggest that the next main series Generation 10, is coming sooner than expected, tentatively in 2026, Pokémon Wind and Pokémon Waves. This implies a duality, likely tied to weather, air, and ocean mechanics. Similar to the Groudon Kyogre dynamic, the setting, the region is rumored to be based on an archipelago, potentially inspired by Southeast Asia. This would explain the Wind and Waves titles and offer a massive environment ripe for the open-world mechanics introduced in Scarlet and Violet. Crucially, Gen 10 is reportedly going to feature MMO-inspired elements as a testing ground for Project Seed. This means we might see the central hub, limited co-op, and perhaps even some of the new online functionalities making their debut in 2026. This would make the Gen 10 games the most social mainline entries ever, preparing the fanbase for the massive scale of the 2028 MMO. The leak confirms the continuation of the wildly successful Pokémon Legends series. The next installment, tentatively slated for 2027, is allegedly set in the Galar region. The lore, we're going back to the roots of the Galar region's dark, almost medieval history, which was heavily influenced by the Dynamax phenomenon. The leaks suggest a core mechanic where players must create the first Gigantamax Pokeballs, suggesting a focus on invention, crafting, and interaction with giant, world-altering Pokémon. This is a massive divergence from the formula, blending the historical exploration of legends, Arceus with the larger-than-life battles of Sword and Shield. Part 3. The fanservice factor Kitakami and the connected Lorium, detail hidden deep within the alleged internal documents, is a massive nod to the franchise's current lore. The inclusion of the Kitakami region .kitakami for those who played the Scarlet and Violet DLC is the remote, folklore-rich region that felt geographically distinct from Paldea. The leaked documents reportedly state that the Project Seed MMO will allow players to walk from Sinnoh to Hoenn, and that Kitakami will be included as well. It confirms that Game Freak is actively working to integrate the lore of the new, more open-world regions with the classics. Kitakami's themes of ancient legend, mythical Pokémon, and isolated cultures fit perfectly alongside the lore of Hoenn Groudon, Kyogre, and Sinnoh Dialga. Palkia, Kitakami's small, intimate map, focused on festivals and community, would make for an excellent, tightly packed zone within the otherwise vast MMO. Imagine using Kitakami's community center as a key player hub, or a place to take part in specialized, seasonal events, a perfect slice of life in a world of giant monsters. The implications are that the Pokémon universe is officially becoming one giant, interconnected narrative space, fulfilling another decade-old fan request, a cohesive, shared world where every region matters. Now, before you book a flight to Japan and start planning your Sinnoh to Hoenn migration route, we must inject a healthy dose of reality. This information comes from a leak, allegedly from data acquired from Game Freak servers. But here's why we need to be cautious. These internal roadmaps and prototyping documents could be years old. The leak suggests some of the planning dates back to 2020. Game development is a fluid, chaotic process, and concepts like Project Seed could easily be scrapped, delayed indefinitely, or heavily modified beyond recognition. Building a true MMO that seamlessly links to massive regions or as some whispers suggest, is an unprecedented technical challenge for any developer, let alone Game Freak, which has faced consistent performance issues in recent mainline games. The scope of this project is so vast that attempting it on current or even next-generation Nintendo hardware presents a substantial risk of quality control failure. Nintendo is notoriously aggressive in protecting its intellectual property. The severity of the original Teraleak has already led to legal action. While the leaks are out there, the company could pivot its plans to distance itself from the leaked roadmap, or simply deny the existence of these projects until they are ready to reveal them. However, the sheer detail, the naming conventions, and the alignment of these projects with years of fan requests suggest that, even if the timeline is inaccurate, the ambition is real. The desire to create an MMO experience, a multi-region game, and more Legends titles is clearly baked into Game Freak's long-term strategy. The end of an era, the beginning of Forever. Teraleak 2.0 is more than just a data breach. It's an early peek into the future of a global phenomenon. For too long, the Pokémon franchise has been trapped between its massive cultural legacy and its relatively small annual release cycle. Fans have demanded bigger worlds, deeper online features, and a return to the connected nature of the series. Project Seed is the ultimate answer. It is the company's acknowledgement that a single, isolated region is no longer enough. The idea of traveling from the ancient legends of Sinnoh to the modern marvels of Hoenn, Catching Pokémon with trainers from across the world is the ultimate fulfillment of the Gotta Catch MMO spirit. Whether it arrives in 2028 or later, the blueprint has been laid bare. The Pokémon MMO is no longer a fever dream. It's a massive, multi-million-dollar project that promises to redefine the franchise. It's a risk. It's a terrifying technical undertaking. But if Game Freak manages to pull off the $70.8 million idea and deliver on the promise of a truly seamless, social, multi-region world, we will look back on this week the Hoenn and Sinnoh MMO leaked as the moment the franchise finally took its ultimate, game-changing evolutionary step.